How's it going, guys? This is Nathan Hawken and welcome to this video. Now this video is what I'm going to deem as a coaching session for you because it's about 5 powerful questions that will literally change the way you think. Five powerful questions which will help you change the way you think. In a good way. Let me just put that caveat in. Now, part of my work as a coach, so I ask very powerful questions. Well, let me rephrase that. I ask questions that if the client or the person I'm sitting with decides to answer them and be honest with themselves, has a lot of power in the answer that comes back. Some of the questions I ask are quite deep, and they're designed in a way to provoke a deep thought so the client can get the answers that they need. This is one of the things which I realize within inside myself, like I'm good at, and more importantly, I am not afraid to ask confronting and big questions, really. Now, the reason I do that is because part of the way I work is that I'm more of a performance and mindset coach, and I tend to specialize towards belief structure. Because beliefs are everything. Beliefs, how you feel about yourself, like what you believe about yourself, about what you believe is possible for you and what you can create. So powerful, so powerful. And if there's things which you believe about yourself which aren't positive, then they can really limit what you can actually do or what you do. And you know it yourself. Like you're probably watching this now thinking, yeah, you know what? There's things that I want to do, but I stop myself from doing them. Well, most of the time, that's because of the belief which is around the thing or around what's possible for you. And so the way I operate is very much around mindset. No matter what it is my client or whoever it is I'm speaking to comes to me with, whatever their problem may feel or what they think it might be, it's never about that. It's usually boiled down to belief and the negative emotions which fuel those beliefs as well. And so one of the main things I do is ask really powerful questions to get you to think, to get my clients to think. Because I'm a firm believer that you have all the resources within inside yourself to succeed. That's one of the presuppositions of NLP that I learned, and I really took it on board and adopted it, and it became very real for me when I started working with clients because, man, the answers are there. Like you have the answers inside yourself that you need, and all you got to do is seek them out. And you seek them out by asking powerful questions. Now, part of the reason why people hire a coach is because they don't give themselves the time or the space to let the answers come up, to ask the questions and allow the answers to come up. And more importantly, they don't trust the answer that comes up. Like if you feel some self-loathing towards yourself, maybe you don't have a high self-worth, maybe you've got self-esteem issues, maybe you've got insecurities within inside yourself, or maybe you don't trust yourself enough, then whatever answer comes up, you're not going to believe it. And sometimes the answer that comes up seems so crazy that it can be hard to believe, but that is the answer. Like the answer is inside yourself. Some people ask themselves, I'll say to themselves, well, I don't have the resources to be successful, I don't have the resources to create the money I want to create in my life, or find the right partner, or whatever it is that you want to do. And so they look at that as a way to kind of stop themselves from doing anything. But when I say you've got all the resources inside yourself, that means that at the very least, you have the resource of being resourceful. You have the ability to dig down inside yourself and ask yourself what resources you need to find externally and then go find them. Most of the time people will just shut that off and say, look, I just don't have what I need. I don't have the thing, so I don't have the money, so I can't do the thing, so I won't do the thing. Right? So questions are really, really powerful. Really, really powerful. For the most part, people think that they need to look externally for the things which are already inside themselves. They think they need to go find someone over here or something over there because that'll solve their problem, when really the problem can be solved within inside. The journey out is always in. I'm going to say that again, the journey out is always in. And so I want you to think about that, because to discover what's going on inside yourself, powerful questions become very important. Now, these questions, these powerful questions which I'm about to share with you, can literally change your life. These are the questions that I use constantly with my clients and people that I speak to. These questions have the potential to literally change the way you think, to really mess up your thinking and rock your world so you can see it in a totally different way, and in a way that serves you in, undescribed ways, unimaginable ways. So what happens is these questions help penetrate to the deeper structure of a particular problem. Now, with people, with yourself, with the clients that I work with, they come to me with a problem. They have a particular problem, whatever it may be. Now, I know that that is not the problem, because the problem is never the problem. That is just the surface level problem. With any problem that's out there, there is a deeper level to it. It's called the deep structure problem. Now, that is what I need to get to. The problem is people usually put up their defenses, or they're not really aware enough to realize that that's what's going on internally. So someone might get really angry really quickly, and other people would look at them going, well, why did that person get angry? What's going on there? That's because there's a deeper structure problem at the bottom of it all, and it's just coming out in anger. Now, most of the time people don't realize that. They don't realize where it's coming from. They're just like, I'm just an angry person. Well, that's complete BS. There's no one's just an angry person. There's a problem. There's a reason why that anger is actually coming up. And so that's what powerful questions do. Powerful questions dig down deep beyond the surface level of the problem and start chipping away to get deeper and deeper and find out what the real problem is. Now, before asking yourself these questions, there's a couple of things you need to think about, okay? Because as I said, these are really powerful questions, and if you allow yourself the time and space to get the answers, they will come to you. That's why I said this is a coaching session right now. You and I were in a coaching session, and these questions are questions which I ask my clients as well. So there are a few things that we need to cover first. Now, the first thing you need to do is allow yourself to be given the answer. The answers that come up from your unconscious, and most of the time people don't have a good relationship with their unconscious mind. They usually give it quite a battering actually, because they don't listen to it. They don't listen to the answers that come up and dismiss them quite quickly, which hurts, right? Imagine what it's like to be dismissed all the time. Imagine you have the best ideas in the world and you're really helpful, but no one ever listens and you get dismissed constantly. Well, that's how your unconscious mind feels, right? So it will give you the answer if you allow yourself to be given the answer. So whatever the answer is that comes up, just allow yourself to listen to the answer. So listen to it when it comes up. So you've probably heard about the 5-second rule before. Now, let me just briefly explain. The 5-second rule is when you get an idea, or in this situation, an answer from a question. You got about 5 seconds for your conscious mind to start making rational sense of it and then dismiss it if it wishes. Most of the time, that's what we do. We allow our conscious mind to come in, make some type of sense of what comes up, and then dismiss it because it's trying to keep you safe or in your comfort zone or something like that. Like the idea to start a business. You've got 5 seconds to talk yourself out of it, which most people do. I love creating these widgets and I'd love to turn it into a business. You should turn it into a business. 5 seconds goes by, wait a minute. You're already working, it's hard doing business. Being an entrepreneur is hard, getting it up and running is going to be challenging, it's going to be very expensive and all the other reasons, right? So it's trying to make logical sense of it, even though you can turn it into something quite good. And so most people just dismiss it and then that idea is gone. Like, well, it's not gone, it's still there, but most people don't listen to it. So listen to the answer when it comes. So allow yourself to get the answer, then listen to the answer that comes up. Then take the answer that actually comes up. What I mean by that is, you have to understand that it's the answer that you need right now. Sometimes it may seem totally nuts, totally crazy, whatever it may be. Right? It may just seem unbelievable, particularly when you're asking a question like about money or finances or business, and something comes up around maybe self-love or nurturing or something totally left field. Doesn't matter. Take the answer that comes up, because that's the answer that you need right now. Your unconscious mind is doing its job and it's giving you the answer that you need right now. So it doesn't have to make sense, okay, consciously. You just have to accept what comes up and then go with it. So take the answer that comes up. And then lastly, trust yourself and trust the process. A lot of the time people feel so poorly about themselves, or they don't trust their decisions, they don't trust themselves, that they don't listen to the answers. So trusting yourself and trusting this process is going to serve you very well. Right. Now get a pen and paper ready, because I want you to write these questions down, because it may take some time for you to actually think about them and allow the answers to come up. So first of all, big question. What is the problem? What is the main problem right now that you have that is a big problem for you? Write it down. Or write down the question at least, and you can answer it after you finish watching this video. Now, next question. What is the real problem? Remember, there's a surface level structure of the problem and there's a deep structure of the problem. When you ask yourself what the problem is, well, I don't have enough money. Okay, right. What's the real problem? I don't feel like I'm good enough to make the money I want to make. Now that's a problem, all right? So second question is, what is the real problem? Put in capitals, real. Now, third question. What is the purpose of the problem? What's the purpose of it? So the problem is, I don't feel like I'm good enough to make the money I want to make. All right, what's the purpose of that? What answer comes up? Security, safety. Right, okay. Now, that's not a suggestion to you. These are just examples. Your answers are your own, and no one else can give you the answer, okay? These are your answers. Fourth question. How can I fulfill that same purpose in a positive and more powerful way? How can I fulfill that purpose in a better way? In a more positive way, in a more powerful way? Write it down. Now here's a really big one, question 5. What am I too afraid to admit to myself? What is it that you're too afraid to admit to yourself? This has been a really, really powerful one for people I've worked with, because it's something they've never even thought of, never even were aware of. So what am I too afraid to admit to myself? Number 6. What does my unconscious mind want me to know? Or what does my inner voice want me to know? Really important question. Allow that answer to come to you. And next, final question. What must I do now to totally and completely change this old thinking right now? What must I do right now to completely change this old thinking right now? Start writing it down. These are the action steps. So whatever those action steps are, whatever the answer to that question is, write those down, and it's really important that you do them. Really important. Because that is the basis of change. Change comes when you recognize the problem. When you start delving deep into the purpose of the problem. And then coming up with the answers that you need to completely change the old way of thinking and the actions that you need to do right now. So those are really powerful questions for you. If you have any problems with this, or if you need further help, please leave a comment below. Or leave a comment below and let me know how you go with it, because I would love to know. I would love to. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon.